Right, how we doing? Let me get this door shut right here, even though it will be a little loud once my girlfriend and son gets back. I do apologize. I put it off as long as I could, but I am Nug, the narrator, and this is That's My Take podcast and show. Again, I am Nug. Never underestimate greatness, the narrator. We're gonna get right into it because we do have a pretty long show. I want to at least start off by saying, real quick, thank you to the new subscribers. Thank you to the new viewers. Thank you to my marketing and promotional team. Thank you for my sponsorship with the Star Report. Thank you for the people that came from the Star Report to check me out. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you. Again, none of this would be possible without the fam. Forever about making money, forever amongst made men. Gotta shout my weeples out. And yeah, it's been a good few days. September 14th, 2023. Let's get into it. World news. As always, world news is usually grim or sad, and this is no different. Real quick, the Libya flood devastated. So far, they're saying it then killed close to 12,000 people. Images taken from a satellite view shows the physical devastation from the flood that again killed at least 11,000 people in the eastern section of the Liberian city of Dorna. As always, we want to send our condolences and prayers and hope for a speedy recovery. Not to sound like a broken record, but natural disasters happen. My take is we as humans have no say in that. So we don't know when, where, or whatever. We do know, I guess we kind of get hints, and with science, kind of could say a little bit about it. But what I was getting at is natural disasters happen. And they had two dams above Derna that burst early Monday under the pressure from rain dropped by a storm. The pent-up water swept blocks of low-lying downtown Derna out to the Mediterranean Sea, man. Like, devastating. Again, nothing but condolences and blessings to Libya and its people. Moving on, North Korea fires two short-range ballistic missiles towards its eastern seas. The launch came as North Korean leader Kim Jong-un was traveling in Russia for a meeting with President Putin while there on international concerns about a potential arms deal that could fuel Moscow's war efforts in Ukraine. Obviously, we got to keep an eye on North Korea, and as a threat, got to take them serious. Got to. If that means knocking them out, out of here, let's knock them out. South Korea might feel the effects, but yeah, we got to knock them out and definitely not only consider them a serious threat, but act as if. That's my take on that. Moving on, the iPhone 12. I'm not an iPhone user. A lot of the people might not know, but just old regular old Android for me. The iPhone 12 emits too much radiation, and Apple must take it off the market, French agency says in Paris. And this is coming from the Associated Press. French regulators ordered Apple to stop selling the iPhone 12, saying it emits radiation levels that are above European Union standards for exposure. The company obviously disputed the findings and said the device complies with regulations, i.e., we meet the criteria, so let's keep slinging these things. I don't know if holding the phone to your ear versus an earpiece helps, hurts. I'm an earpiece type guy. A lot of y'all might know I am a realtor, but this podcast is definitely not about real estate. This is me getting away from real estate. This is me, um, nug. I mean, I can't really say anything else on the reason why the podcast is not talking about real estate, but I want to say that I do real estate most of my day, so I would like a getaway, and that's what this is. But yeah, I don't know on the phone situation. I'm not an expert, and again, I'm not an expert in anything. This is purely for entertainment, and all opinionated. I will give sources when I get them, but again, my views, this show is purely entertainment. I don't know, again, on the phone and the radiation thing, like it's scary because we all use our phone. I know I use my phone a lot, and I don't know. I don't know enough about the emissions. But if a French authority is saying, "Hey, they putting out too much radiation," I'm gonna have to rock with it. I mean, shit, pull them if they, possibly cancerous or harmful to us as humans. Moving on, and again, I'm gonna put this under the category of I can't make this shit up news. If you're familiar with the show, I do have a segment, whereas the story may sound weird, but it is true. Here's another one. Mexican experts reveals mummified years old alien. Now, I'm not quite as fancy yet with getting graphics up. But if you haven't seen this picture of this mummified alien, you gotta go look at it. I mean, it's looking like a paper mache, and I don't want to repeat words that Star said, but he hit it on the nose. Like it looks like a paper mache put together piece of bullshit, but it's a mummified alien. My take is obviously fake. And yeah, I can't make this shit up. They revealed this to their Congress down there in Mexico. I don't know what's the whole reason besides sound like you're clout chasing or need some attention, but pretty weird on the so-called alien. Speaking of aliens, perfect segue. Moving on, an independent group of experts and scientists release a 33-page report on UFOs. The report claims, the report comes from an independent group of experts and scientists who set out in 2022 to create a roadmap for NASA to begin aiding research into UAPs, shifting through data and determining whether and how the mysterious phenomenon can be studied scientifically. The team found no hard evidence that the unexplained occurrences from the intelligent alien life exist or don't exist, meaning a bunch of rah 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 about aliens. What this was, a 33-page report about aliens, to say that they've never found anything concrete to say that there are aliens or they're not aliens. So my take is, obviously I'm not selfish enough to think we're the only living life form. I don't believe it. And I know with life you have to have water and something else. But what if life in the word of living isn't the same in another galaxy, meaning your existence don't require water, don't require oxygen? Now, I don't know and thought about it enough to really say, well, what would be the life force keeping them alive? I don't know. It might be something as easy as electricity or electron. I don't know. But obviously, I'm a believer. No, I've never seen a UFO. I've done LSD, so possibly could have had a hallucinogenic conversation with something that wasn't there once or twice. I mean, hey, I went to college. I tell everybody, shit, LSD, man, like that's as close as I could get to unidentified flying objects because I definitely took trips on sofas and never moved, but I was light years away from right here, keeping it real. Moving on, we're gonna move on to U.S. news. That was right there was pretty much world news, and also that I can't make this shit up all into one. Moving on, U.S. news. After a 2-week manhunt, escaped Pennsylvania inmate Danilo C. Danilo Delano C. is finally in custody. He basically is the guy that bracing his 5-foot frame between brick walls in a corridor of a Pennsylvania prison, crab walked his way to freedom. He will spend 13 days hiding amongst thick brush and living off watermelon. According to the local authorities, he was detained, once captured by a 4-year-old police dog who also bit him. Like, look, it's been 13 days. Let me get a little bit of that. So yeah, he's captured. I think it's pretty wild. A lot of people who on Facebook might know of the guy that's been doing this watermelon challenge or surviving off just watermelon, but obviously it's possible. Um, I think this was a crazy escape from the crab walk on, like real crazy escape. Um, give me 1 second. I think I hear the family pulling up, so I'm gonna get ahead of the noise. I promise this will probably be 30 seconds, if that, and I do apologize. Again, totally apologize for that, but I'm trying to get ahead of the noise. I'll also take this time to mention if you've been following my shorts, which I do in between time before I go on live or do a show. I do run a couple shorts, but my dog, Coach, made his YouTube mascot debut, and you'll be hearing him bark as well as my girlfriend's dog, Sophie, when they do come. And that wasn't my girl and my son walking in, so I do apologize. But moving on. Hunter Biden has been indicted on felony gun charges. That's the younger Biden's son, and he has been charged with 2 counts related to false statements in purchasing the firearm, and a third count on illegally obtaining a firearm while addicted to drugs. The 2 counts of making false statements carry sentences of up to 10 years and 5 years, respectively, while the possession charge carries a sentence up to 10 years. I mean, anybody that's in trouble, I feel for them. I was once in trouble myself a few times, and since then changed my life and feeling a lot better. And I don't know what the word. My stress levels are a lot lower these days. Waking up without having to look behind your shoulder type stuff. But yes, moving on. A school shooting in Greensboro, Louisiana, my home state, leaves 1 person dead and 2 injured. Now a juvenile suspect is in custody. The Louisiana governor, Edwards, that's John Bell Edwards, offered his condolences and called for more action to help curb gun violence. I'm definitely a proponent of curbing gun violence and also an advocate for those that feel like violence is the only way out, or gun violence, I should say, is the only way out. That is so false. That is so untrue. If we as a people were more peaceful towards one another, now I definitely heard them now. Y'all got to give me these 20 seconds because, again, if I get ahead of this, it won't be as noisy. I'm going to give me like 15 seconds at that. Come on, coach. All right. Yep, that was them. All good. And again, I'll introduce Coach and give him some camera time sometime in the future. Moving on and wrapping up U.S. news. Excuse me. El Chapo's wife has been released from a U.S. prison. Coronel was sentenced to 3 years in prison in November of 2021 after pleading guilty to charges related to her husband's narcotics empire. Her sentence also included 4 years of supervised probation, and she had to forfeit 1.5 million, which, if I'm counting right, that's not much money for someone that made billions. I'm just saying. Moving on to hip hop and entertainment news. Nas. I think his birthday was today or yesterday. Happy birthday. Nas and Lil Wayne joined forces on Magic 3. Nas has released a track listing of his final album with Hit Boy as the producer, and it has only one guest appearance, i.e., Lil Wayne. Magic 3 will be the conclusive installment of the duo's sixth album, two trilogy run that earned them two Grammy nominations and one win for Best Rap Album in 2021. I'm not the hugest Nas fan, but I do love Nas in terms of what he means for the culture, how he spit in terms of the way he done his thing, well, do his thing, because he not done. I always gave Nas his props. Like, even though he had beef with my favorite rapper, Tupac, Nas always got the nod in terms of, yeah, he got that there. He could spit. Like, and I don't know. I think to me, Nas's legendary iconic statue is a testimony to basically being a street journalist, because Nas never proclaimed to be gangster, this, that, or the other. But looking out of his project window, he wrote that shit and really dropped a lot of gems in hip hop. So for me, Nas always, again, got his props. Like, no issues. Moving on, Tory Lanez is officially headed to prison after the final appeal in Meg Thee Stallion's case was denied. Tory Lanez has officially been sent to prison to serve his 10-year sentence, marking the conclusion of the Meg Thee Stallion shooting case. Obviously, no one wants to see anybody go to jail, but if I'm remembering right, he should have took the plea deal. Definitely. Moving on. Oh, not actually moving on. Continuing. The lawyer, a crime reporter, and who has been on the case since the beginning, says that the report is that Lanez has been officially imprisoned as of today, September 14th. So after trying this, that, and the other, is officially official for you, Tory. And my take is, after he finished his sentence, he's going to be deported back to Canada, and work visas and all American money will cease to exist. Playing stupid with guns, no matter if you did it or you didn't, is going to get you some stupid prizes. Like, you don't want to be the person playing crazy and also have a firearm and a female gets shot. What did you expect was going to happen? Buying down cases and having a perfect lawyer for this, that, and the other is cool, and it does help. But when you are a grown person and have a firearm and it goes off, you're liable. Point blank, period. So, I don't know. Moving on. Rapper Designer Panda. I don't know if y'all remember him. Designer lands himself on a sex offender list ladies and gentlemen. Designer must register as a sex offender after pleading guilty in an indecent exposure case. According to court documents obtained by Entertainment Tonight and TMZ, a judge forced the former Good music artist, and Good is Kanye's label. He now has to register as a sex offender, and that is part of his sentence. My take is, why in the fuck would you be jerking off on an airplane? That's pretty much the only question I have. And you couldn't wait, bro? Like, I don't know. Some stuff I really can't really, you know what I'm saying? I can't really explain how a grown man is on the airplane and feel like taking his meat out and beating it is all good. Like, I don't know what universe you in where that's registering as something that's good. But moving on, sports. Aaron Rodgers, everybody pretty much know he is done the entire season. Torn Achilles. Yeah. He does say he do plan to return, but he will be 40 in December, if I'm not mistaken. So coming back, he'll be 40, 41. I don't know much about Achilles, physical therapy and how long and how trustworthy and how much you get back to how you were after the surgery and rehab. That I don't know. I can tell you this: 4 plays, 35 million. Let's just say 30. 4 plays, $30 million. I'll take it because yes, his salary was guaranteed. He did take a pay cut for the team, but his salary was guaranteed. So I don't think he's getting 100% of it, but it's more like 80. But that's not bad for 4 snaps. It's unfortunate. And don't get me wrong, I do feel like the Jets are a cursed team, and I don't believe in curses per se. But if you look at their history, especially at the quarterback, and you look at present day events, history not only repeats itself, this motherfucker on like repeat. Like, I don't know. The Jets usually get a big quarterback and they usually get hurt or something like that. That's pretty much their story. Sad but true. Sad but true. Moving on. Let's keep it in let's keep it in NFL before we go to college, before we get up out of here. But Buffalo Bills, their owner, listen to this now, allegedly made racist comments against NFL black players in a lawsuit. Someone is suing him as well. This is all alleged. This is all for entertainment, but this is allegedly in 2023 what this owner of the Buffalo Bills allegedly said. And I quote, if the black players don't like it here, they should go back to Africa and see how bad it is. He, and again, I never use full names. Terry P is accused of saying this. And this is according to the reporter who was not named in the lawsuit. Obviously, my take on this is if we're still talking like this in 2023, we as a human race are fucking fucked and flawed. Big joke. And it might go back further than that, but again, I was born in 78, so I don't remember much before. But the go back to Africa talk has been going on a while. We're not going back. And I won't say we because I'm not an NFL player. I'm gonna just say this, my take. I don't think they're going back because, and I'm not on Ancestry.com or nothing, but I'm pretty sure most of them don't have a second generation African person they can go back and be like, hey, I'm back, I'm home. So with that being said, it's obviously ignorance. And when you're a billionaire ignorant, I think your ignorance should be paid for. Meaning, if he's found guilty, hit his ass in the pocket. He's a billionaire with a B. Let's half in that and get that money to help Black African Americans, since you're so caught up on that. Help them to kind of shorten that gap, because if you don't know what's going on, is for generations people has been having things passed down to them, generations, and other folks didn't have this as much. Now, yeah, everybody has a rich somebody and all this so-called, or what that's what they claim, but for the most part, African Americans are not of a wealthy background per capita, per every citizens. And with that, what I'm trying to basically say is most of us pretty broke. So I think if a billionaire owner of an NFL franchise really think it's cool to say such racist comments, let's hit him in his pockets. Let's make him forfeit his ownership. And maybe then he'll want to go back to Africa, if not to stay, just to clear his mind, because I want to see him dock so many millions that is close to $1 billion just for playing. That's my take. Moving on. Minnesota Vikings tonight. They got the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles versus the Vikings. The Vikings lost their home opener and are looking at the prospect with an 0-2 start. The NFC champs, Eagles, who didn't look great in week 1, they still won. So they could get 2-0 out this victory tonight. Who I'm pulling for, neither. Who I think is going to win, I'm going to go with the Eagles. I'm going to go with the Eagles. They definitely didn't look good last week. But everybody's saying tonight of all nights, we'll see that front four wrecking shit. Like Kirk Cousins supposed to be running for his life tonight. And literally right after I get off the broadcast, I'm going to jump into the game. And I hope that's what I'm seeing. Him running for his fucking life. You're guaranteed on your contract. Don't act like we all don't know how you've been finessing the damn franchise tag to a tune of maybe 200 M's, maybe more, because every year you're doing a franchise tag, and the average at your position is the highest amongst players. So, I mean, without me looking it up, you've been juicing the shit out the franchise tag and getting paid, and righteously so. That's a strategy. But what I was getting at is, I heard you got a backup center tonight. I heard y'all a little weak somewhere else up front. So I will not be surprised if the sacks are 3, maybe 4 sacks tonight, and Eagles win. Prediction 27. No, not 27. Sorry, 28-14. 28-14. Just a prediction. I don't know. My Saints, we play on Monday night. We got Carolina and Young, the first round draft pick. I think it'll be, I'm trying to flip pages. This is it. I'm trying to basically get to a point where I feel like the Saints, and again, I didn't watch the game. I watched the highlights. And I feel like they're above average team just looking at what I saw of the highlights and watching the stats. It's just at the same time, I want to be to a point where I'm not really catching a heart attack watching my Saints, because that'd be the problem, man. Like, that was a 16-15 win. I'm kind of glad I didn't see it. That damn game probably would have took a couple years off my life. For real. Like, I'm a real like Saints fan. I'm just not happy with our front office and some of our decision making in terms of personnel. So I'm not as vocal as a fan these days. Excuse me. College football. Obviously, we got to talk about Coach Prime. 2-0. Colorado faces their in-state rival, Colorado State. Pretty lackluster team to not be such a negative person, but yeah, they're not the best college team. So I'm sitting over here wondering, why would the coach start talking? And the talk centered around, I wouldn't let my son wear a hat and glasses backwards, which, don't get me wrong, I understand the hate. I mean, when you're polarizing, people hate you. That's a true statement. People do not like polarizing people. I'm here to tell you right now. And I used to be a conceited, cocky, vocally cocky bastard. But as I grew up, I toned it all down. But I do know polarizing people, they don't like us. I'm gonna just keep it real. So the coach, the Colorado State coach, says to Dion, well, I guess towards Dion in a presser or whatever, that his mom raised him to take off a hat and sunglasses when talking to people. Which again, okay, it got a little legs, but I still think it's walking bullshit. What does the coach attire, swag, drip, how he coming have anything to do with the X's and O's of getting y'all ass kicked? Because I see y'all losing like 53-9. That's what I see. Like, I don't think y'all got a wing in the prayer. Like, just keeping it real. I really don't. Um, I think the spread's like 27 points. I'm not taking it because that's a lot of points, but they go blow them out. And that just added fuel to the fire. Like, why in the hell you worrying about the man drip for? Like, that's whack. That's real whack. Now we're pretty much to the point of the show. Let me pull it up. Got it. Point of the show where the segment is called "This Day in History," and that's kind of self-explanatory. But if it's not, real quick for my new viewers, I like to call myself a history buff. I'm definitely a historian, degreed historian. Huntington College here in Montgomery, Alabama, with a minor in political science, historian. So I tend to like history and love history. So I want to at least give and leave every show with a little education of something of our history that has happened. And tonight, for September the 14th, it was 1939. The world's first practical helicopter, the VS-300, designed by Igor S., takes flight in Stratford, Connecticut. I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm guessing the word practical helicopter was used because they probably had some flimsy stuff that kind of glided or crashed. So I would pretty much think that practical helicopter first practical has something to do with that. I Tonight I felt froggy, so I did two what happened in histories. Now, most nights is gonna just be one. Tonight I felt froggy. I'm hyped because the football Monday night is about to go down. Not Monday, I'm crazy. I'm sorry. Thursday night, it's still about to go down. I'm a football person. I love football. Grew up on it. Reminds me of my mom. My mom passed breast cancer several years ago now, but she definitely a huge sports fan. Like not just football, even though she loved football. This lady knew sports, and I can remember as a kid listening to her debate sports. Like that's a very vivid memory. I don't have many vivid memories, but that's one of them. Let me minimize this. Um, it just I grew up watching football. I mean, shit. I ain't gonna even give y'all a big spill or whatever. I grew up watching football. Um, Football was part of culture, life. My brother, who's I don't know if I explained this, but I do have two brothers, both named Paul. One's sharing my last name, one sharing my mom's last name, one that we share a father, another where we share a mother. If you're following what I'm putting down, both named Paul. Well, the one that's deceased, again, huge football fan, huge sports fan, and just watching football and sports, it just make me think of them. And for a little while, I don't feel as pissy and bad about them not being here. But in closing, I want to thank everybody. I think tonight's show was pretty much straightforward, and this is going to be our format moving forward. Thank y'all. God bless.